Mr. Vieira initiated that. Mr. Vieira, he's down. Is he down there? Brandon?
Jason's there. I see him.
Could we go ahead and make our comments while we're waiting? I'll just say Jason has been a friend to many of us over the years and has been involved in so many events and programs in our community. And one of them is that he's been involved in, I've been involved in, is Cafe on Tampa. He's been a regular speaker there and been involved. And I have to say, he's the most popular speaker we've ever had in that organization. He gets thousands and thousands of hits because of his analyses, not just of COVID, but of other important issues in the community. So thank you to Dr. Wilson.
And if I may, Mr. Chair, pardon me, I didn't know we were up already. Thank you very much. It's my great pleasure. This is the Louis Vieira Commendation Hour, apparently. It's my great pleasure to give Dr. Jason Wilson at Tampa City Council Commendation here with his wonderful wife, Neria, who's here, who graces us today, such a wonderful person. And you know, Dr. Wilson's bona fides, we can get into them in terms of his academic, medical, professional bona fides, but the reason we're giving this to Dr. Wilson is because in the last roughly almost 2 years now, our country has suffered about 800, roughly 1,000 deaths from COVID-19. It's been a pandemic. It's been a time of crisis. It's been a time of crisis, not just for us as a country economically, but for us morally, and for so many families individually who have lost loved ones. And throughout this time, we have had so many individuals step up. We talked about Ms. Rosario before in her individual capacity, but so many of our medical providers and medical professionals who have stepped up to give people like me, because I'm not a doctor, right, a level of comfort, which is to say, you can do this, medical science says you can do this, but you can't do that. Well, Dr. Jason Wilson here locally has been one of the people on the forefront whose face has always been a comfort to people in Tampa, whose face and words and voice has always been a source of education for people in the city of Tampa when it comes to so many issues, but especially COVID-19. Such a pivotal role for him. So that's why we're giving this man this Tampa City Council commendation. And I know that before he speaks, some folks in City Council want to opine. So thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Maniscalco?
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Wilson. We appreciate you here with Neria, who we've all known for, we've known each other for over 10 years now when we met running for City Council. And we appreciate your work that you do for the community, everything during this time of crisis with COVID-19. Councilmember Vieira really has said it all. You've been out there at the forefront. You've been out there informing the community. We see you always on television and in the media, but you're looking out for folks. You're making sure that people are taking care of one another and taking the precautions needed so that we are all safer together, and we certainly appreciate the work and the sacrifice that you make in your service. Thank you, sir.
Anyone else? Mr. Dingfeldt, you recognize?
Good morning, Jason, Rhea. It's so wonderful to see you guys. And Jason, not only am I a big fan, but my wife is a huge fan. She reads your emails constantly and trusts you with the health of our family and our community. So thanks for all you do.
Mr. Citro, you recognize?
Dr. Wilson, I thank you very much for keeping the Tampa and Tampa Bay area informed, and especially keeping this council up to date on all the COVID-19 things that come to us and should come to our attention. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Well, Doctor, thank you so much for being able to come down. Mr. Vieira, thank you for bringing him. You know, COVID is a serious thing. You know, myself and my colleague, Mr. Miranda, were a survivor of it, and we had it pretty badly. So we thank you for the work that you're doing to enlighten the public. I see everyone's reading all the information, so that means that's a good sign when everyone's being able to get the information from somebody who has some knowledge about the disease. So again, thank you for coming down and the knowledge that you present to everyone.
Thank you, sir. And Doctor, if you'd like to speak, we would love to hear you.
Thank you very much, Councilman, and thank you very much, Council. It's an honor and it's humbling to have your trust and the trust that you place in me, with your families, and in Tampa General with your families. I really am humbled by that trust, and I appreciate that. You know, I have really spent this last 2 years doing what I think is a ethical duty, a responsibility that I have, which is to take complex information, things that I'm seeing, the things that my patients are going through, and try to convey that back to both the public, but also to people like you who are making decisions that protect our public. So I've taken that responsibility very seriously, and I'm humbled and honored to see that you recognize that. And I also very much, appreciate the fact that this is with a mayor and a city council that does listen and read and interacts and engages with scientific information and clinical information. Just imagine what if we were in a city where we didn't have a council like you and we didn't have a mayor like we have. What if, where my information and the knowledge I was bringing was going on deaf ears, or was being resisted, or not supported, or not validated, or not affirmed. So I very much appreciate your leadership as well over these last 2 years. And I appreciate the fact that I'm at Tampa General, which has been so innovative and leading the way. And this whole area, all the leaders of the hospitals of this area have been so responsive and innovative and engaging in the public. And of course, thanks to Neria and to my family for being patient with me and for giving me the time and space to spend time with the public and with you. So I appreciate it very much. Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
So it is our pleasure to give Dr. Wilson his Tampa City Council commendation. Thank you for all that you do. I mean it. I mean it. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Hey, Mr. Miranda has something today. I don't